live again here in the kitchen today, and I want to show you guys that I have taken, excuse me, I've taken some chicken thighs today and taken off the skin, so it'll be skinless chicken thigh. I'm about to put them in the oven in a little bit, but I will be taking the liquid hickory and mesquite. Of course, I shouldn't show the labels because this is not a sponsor, as always. And putting that over the chicken thighs. So I will show you the chicken thighs that I have prepped right here. I've taken off as much skin and fat as possible because we want to get as much fat off there as possible. Now back to my mug. So we will actually be putting the liquid smoke. I gotta get my camera settled back here for you guys. Getting that on there with the hickory and mesquite, and then I will also be putting fresh cracked pepper and some sage, the rubbed sage. That's always to give it a really nice kind of earthy flavor to it. Now this is going to go in the oven on 400. Now of course I'm going to add some water in this before it goes into the oven. That way it doesn't dry out and burn, of course, because you don't want that to happen to your chicken. And as I've said before, when you do your healthier diet, your weight is going to just come off. Right now, I don't have my corset on at all. And I'm just like doing this video without my corset on. And you guys could probably tell the difference. But we're going to do this on a 400-degree oven for about an hour. And we will cover this, of course, with foil. And then, you know, the steam that comes from that, and then it adheres all this flavor into the chicken. Now, if you really wanted to put barbecue sauce to it, you could, but then I would suggest doing that at the last 10 minutes. Pull the foil, put the barbecue sauce on there the last 10 minutes. That way the barbecue sauce adheres to the plate, you know, adheres to the meat. That way you get that sauce in here, you know, infused to the meat. So let's start with the hickory. We'll actually do like at least 3 caps of the hickory. Actually, let me get my camera moved over here so you guys can see this. Don't want to block that with my thumb. I've had to learn new techniques here to get you guys to be able to see this. So I already put 1 cap down. So this way we can get as much covered as possible with the flavor. So we want to actually put the wet ingredient down first before we put the dry ingredient down. A lot of people would say, well, why aren't you putting the dry ingredient before the wet with this? Well, actually, because the wet would actually wash away the dry ingredient. Now you guys are like, oh, okay, you put a little extra of that. Yeah, the first full cap of this wasn't actually full. So then I will actually put on my cracked pepper. And the reason I choose fresh cracked pepper over just regular, you know, already black pepper that's already been brown is you're going to get more flavor out of this than already, you know, your regular pepper that's already been ground up for you. You're actually going to get more out of this than you would that. and this is really great for digestive. And you can get the pepper that is like white pepper, red pepper, and black peppercorn all in one pepper mill, and that's great for the digestive tract. And then the last thing that we do is put in the sage. This is going to give that earthy flavor. This only takes 1 pinch. And you would do the same thing like this with turkey. You could do the same thing, say, if you're doing pheasant or if you're doing quail meat. You would do the same thing. Just a pinch of it. Get that sage off of my fingers. Now the last thing we're going to do is I'm going to get that water and I'll be right back. We just want to make sure that there's enough liquid into this so that the meat will not dry out. And so I would say that would probably be about a cup of water and or a cup and a fourth, depending on how much liquid you actually want to put in there. Make sure that you just get enough in there, and I'll show you that in a minute. Put that right up. So let me show you this. Okay, you see where the liquid is right there. There's just enough liquid in there with the chicken that when the chicken actually starts to make its own broth in there, it's not going to overflow the pan. Don't want to drop my device here. I'm working with my phone today. That's why we're able to go live. Able to go live with my phone, just not my other device. So when we do the live, we're doing it on my phone. So yeah, so I'm going to cover this now, and this, like I said, is going to go in for an hour. And I don't know why I was afraid to touch that, even though it's sitting on a stove that's already preheated and ready to go. Just like I said, cover with your foil. Don't poke holes in the foil to let the heat escape. You don't want to do that. You only do that with certain things, but just not with this. It's not what you want to do with your chicken. Unless, of course, you're preparing certain chicken dishes and that's acceptable, but just not with this one. So later on, when I go to do something with this chicken, I will do another video. And let me put this in the oven. I actually have to move the rack up because I forgot something was done and the rack needs to be moved back up. So always be careful when you move your rack back or down. And always make sure that your rack is in the proper position in the oven when you do this. You want to make sure that for doing this, it's in the middle of the oven. It does have to pull off. And I will see you guys later for the rest of this. So enjoy the rest of your Friday. See you soon.